Did I get a definite? Did I put them down? They were confused. Confused is not the right word. They use a different jumper types. Yeah, it gets complicated. So they went into jumper types, which is a thing from objective personality, and that is, you know how your parent function is kind of according to these models, your parent function is kind of like a little bit withdrawn, like it's kind of introverted, but then your child function is kind of like more public facing, more seemingly energetic sometimes than your parent function is. Your
Yeah.
parent function mainly seems to be helping out your hero function, but then your SI then your child function kind of has its own thing going on sometimes,
Yeah.
the way they describe it. And so they say, well, sometimes it's actually possible, they say, for a person to have a quote unquote stronger child than parent function, so to speak, and they call it a jumper type. And when you do that, they classify you differently inside the system. So he was going on all about that for a while. It was interesting, and I made a mental note to research it more, and I never have. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just doing a quick Google search on it. Um, I think first impressions. Technically, anything in personality is possible, so I never rule anything out. But usually, if you're going to go against the standard, if you're going to go against what feels natural, there's usually something in the background mentally going on. So, not to say that it's impossible, but if you're doing something against what is the general standard or norm, usually it's due to something that there's a sense of friction or something uncomfortable that caused you to want to rely on that function instead to be that kind of person. So,
And what happens is it makes it so, like, you know how you have FI, right?
yeah.
It's your lead function, and then your second function is the NE.
Yeah.
So, like, imagine you had that the way you primarily processed the world was FI,
Mhm.
SI, right? They call that the FI SI loop. Right?
Yeah.
When you're when two of your functions, you're considered a very immature, and Kyle's going to elaborate. He's going to elaborate more on this later. But it's like, you always hear about the loops. If you go to some communities, MBTI, they talk about the TISI loop, they talk about the FISI loop, they talk about the
Yeah.
INFJs, the NITI loop. And what that is that is comfort zone maxing. Like, you're using your optimistic functions, your two functions that are kind of come easy to you, like natural to you.
Yeah.
And if you're an introvert, it's going to be your two top introverted functions. If you're an extrovert, it's going to be your two top. So like the stereotype of the ENFP, airhead. They're just using their TE and their NE, right?
Yeah.
Their optimistic T and NE, and they're not really doing a whole lot of like mature introspection on their values, or mature introspection on like their comfort zone or their duties or whatever. They're just kind of like,
Yeah. Yeah. They're just everywhere.
right? Or you get the INTP stereotype of just the basement loser guy. He's just like, yeah, whatever, and he's on Reddit debating with everybody, and he's like, but he never does anything, never experiences anything, doesn't even really like. He's not mature with his any in terms of other ways to live or to be or ideas or frameworks, right?
Yeah.
And then he's not particularly mature with his FE. Like, he's just a shut-in. He's like, oh, humans. It's like, oh, they scare me so much. They're horrible. and so what I think what they're describing in the jumper types is basically that phenomena. And then what they're doing is they're using different ways to describe it. So like C.S. Joseph says, well, that's an immature NE and an immature FE, and that is, and according to C.S. Joseph and his gang, what that means is the hero function and the child function turn on first and are the comfort zone of the individual. The NE function has the potential to be stronger than but it comes on later. You got to put some effort into it, and it's usually in service to your hero function. And the more mature you become with your hero function, the more mature you're going to become with your parent function, right? And eventually it'll outpace the child function. Same with the SI. Like, if you're responsible with the way you use your SI, it's going to draft in your for you it's TE. It's going to draft in your TE, right? So to speak.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're describe. So but so yes, Joseph types, they don't describe that as a different type. They describe that as maturity levels or comfort levels or behavioral patterns within a given type. Whereas
Yeah.
this Fantilism, I just said he conceptualizes it better as thinking of somebody who operates with that as being a different type. So he would put one TI label around it.
Mm-hmm.
Partition. He'd put one TE partition around it with a different TI structure. A similar but still different TI structure, and then like
Yeah.
CS Joseph and the MBTI gang would, but they're still describing more or less the same experience.
Yeah.
More or less. So that's the way I interpreted it. But that was years ago. That was over a year ago, and I haven't followed up. So I might be completely wrong about all of that. That's just the way I understood it.
I guess I do feel like I learned more there, but it makes sense. I think that again, I'm very. Another thing is, I checks and balances. Everything kind of always boils down to like, how do you verify that though, right? The more complex the system it gets, the harder it is to like check for errors in the system, I guess, because it's all intuitive at the end of the day. So, I'm at least willing to accept that there's like, if the loop and the jumper are theoretically the same, yeah, I'm willing to accept that happens, because that would be the neuroticism of the big five. MBTI does have neuroticism. It's more just it comes out in people expressing their functions incorrectly, right?
Yeah.
So
Maladaptive.
Yeah, maladaptive. And so yeah, I'm not against it, but and it is it's also possible to become more comfortable with weaker functions. But you have to go through a lot to get to that point, right? Like the more you become like, and the example I always say is like if you're right-handed, you chop off your right hand and you have to learn how to use your left hand. Like eventually you will become left-handed because that's all you're using, but it's uncomfortable, man. Like no one likes using their weaker hand. So, to be put in that situation usually means that you're kind of forced into that situation due to life circumstances. So you have to think in those terms. And so when that happens, it's like you become contradictory in your own types. But thanks to level awareness, usually this is where people raise levels. So, that's where the contradictions occur. So, levels answers that part.
And it kind of becomes a little arbitrary in terms of, this is why I'm starting to become, I guess, more and more fond of simplicity, because it really is like that graph where you start on this end as kind of the dimwit, and then you're the midwit, and then you're the sage. But the sage says the same thing with the mid that the dimwit says, but it's just like he says it with a whole understanding of like the context and the experience. It's not just a practice; like he can generate like the knowledge from his own soul, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still the same thing, still the same simple thing, and it's like personality models or whatever. It doesn't just have to be personality. Religion, personality models, ethics, like morals, rights, code, whatever. Right? Like it's just right. It's like Myers. Okay, like Isabel and Myers. Yes, their system is super simple.
Yeah.
Yes, they cut out so much of the precision and the details and the utility. Yes, a lot of the people who take the test get it wrong. It's like just with those 4 letters and like the extroverted like mapping of behaviors, they got a lot right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A lot right, a lot actionable. The stereotype is generally accurate. It's like if you just go on that 16 personality, like you read the general description of the personality, it gives you quite a bit there to work with, right? And
Yeah.
it's just like, and it's like
it says a lot in a very short amount of time
with very little.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you're more introverted, extroverted. It's like you're more sensing, intuiting. Like you're more thinking, feeling. You're more judging, perceiving. It's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Right, and it's like there's something to be said for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, as much as I love doing like all this, at the end of the day, it comes back to what you were saying. It's like, well, okay, how do you verify it? Like, what are you gonna do with it? It's like, why does it matter? Like, why does it matter? It's like, okay, it's like jumper types, it's like looper types, blah 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 blah. It's like, well, why does it? Why? Like, so
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. You defeated 13 people in a debate about loopers over jumpers. Now what? It's like you got a trophy. It's like you got to sell something. You got to raise a family with this. It's like
Yeah.
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 No.
Yeah. So, again, like, I don't care so much about being right. Well, I care about being honest more than I care about being right, I guess. So, if I'm going to get the right answer, I want it to be the right answer everywhere, I guess. So, and then not only that, like, when it comes to personality, you have to have wiggle room, because a lot of personality is also your personal experience, right? And you're never going to find a good conclusion just because of your personal experience. So, and this is fascinating, because like I realized this, like, taking levels tests, is that, so for example, I took the Kenja's Psych Forge test, and one of the questions was, it had to involve with family, and I was like, family is one of the most important units, and we need to have family. And because I put that, it dropped me all the way down to level 4, and I was like,
Oh, I see
okay.
why. I see why I did that.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you
Yeah.
no test can track the end conclusion. All right.
It can't track all the meat in the middle.
Yeah.